What good idea doesn't work because people are shitty? A local bakery used to give out the unsold bread at the end of the night. They had to stop when someone tried suing them saying the bread got them sick. The bakery I work at used to give unsold bread to a food bank, but they quit cause they found out food bank staff started selling the bread in secret. This is why we can't have nice things. FS. I just wish I could leave my bike unlocked. Even for a minute. You can do this in Japan. You can also stand in line at a cafe with your wallet or cell phone on a table on the opposite side of the cafe to reserve your spot. This was so weird the first few times I saw it. People just leaving their wallet or cell phone on a table so damn close to a door. That wouldn't last 30 seconds in 99% of the world. 2 years ago I went to Japan with a friend and lost my wallet at a zoo. I had all my cash in it because we were changing hotel that day so close to Y100K. I think I'd left it at a food stand so I retraces my steps but honestly believed it would be gone. Someone had handed it into lost and found, and hadn't even touched the money. I know there are good people in the world but I can't imagine many people turning down that much cash. Leaving a bowl of candy in front of your house on Halloween with a sign saying take one. In high school we had this speaker one day who told a story. He said he would put a fake scarecrow on his porch for the weeks leading up to Halloween. Then, on Halloween, he would dress up in the outfit and sit on the porch holding a bowl with a sign, "Please take one." Anyone who took more than one would get an awful scare when he jumped up and chased them. My mom did this. She stuffed an old skeleton costume. When she said, "I said only one," a poor kid pooped in his pants, and my mom had to help him clean up inside our house. OMG. My dad has a story about a guy who did something similar. So he would dress as a scarecrow on Halloween and hold the candied bowl. He'd be sitting still in a chair and kids would come up to take the candy, and he'd scare them when they grabbed a handful. Well, up walks this little girl, maybe 3 or 4, and her mom. Mom stays on the sidewalk and the little girl walks up to the candy bowl. Well, this guy doesn't want to scare this sweet little girl, so he talks to her as she approaches so she knows he's real. He does it softly to not spook her. Too quiet because Mom can't hear him from where she's standing. So the girl gets up to him, and he moves to hand her a piece of candy. Mom pisses her pants. Girl got her candy, but they booked it out of there pretty fucking fast, ha ha ha. A large downtown church had to remove its offerings for the poor collection boxes. Even though they were mounted to the wall and locked, people would smash them open and steal contributions generously given for those in need. My church stopped giving food out at the food pantry because a couple of dudes with a beef picked a fight in the church basement, and one of them knifed the other. Now they just send the food to a distribution center. It sucks that there are more layers between people and the assistance they need, but the volunteer staff was all little old ladies. We had something similar happen. My brother and I were no longer allowed to volunteer at the soup kitchen when we were in our teenage years because some jackass tried to pick a fight with my brother, who was a 15-year-old kid at the time. Thankfully my brother was smart enough to do the "want to take this outside?" thing, then as soon as the guy was outside locked the door behind him and called the cops. Donations for the needy? Fuck man, I'm in need. Smashes box. Group projects. Expectation. A few people of differing opinions discuss a topic, offering different viewpoints to give an all-encompassing presentation. Reality. 1 or 2 people actually do the work. One person makes excuses to miss all of the work time. Another person tries to hastily add something before the project is turned in so they can say they did something. And the last person only shows up day of presentation and asks which part they need to talk about. In high school we would have to present our group projects in front of the class. So my goal was to find the most socially awkward people I know, who would hate to stand in front of everyone. So they would not be able to speak in front of everyone. I would make the deal, you guys do it, and I will present it. So I was that guy, sorry. If you agreed ahead of time, I think that's fair. Hey, no worries, us socially awkward people need people like you. Keeping public restrooms clean. Seriously. If you piss on the seat, clean it up. If you're a dude, lift the fucking seat. Shake the water off your hands while you are at the sink to keep the counter clean. If you drop some paper on the floor, pick it up. All these people that think bathrooms are disgusting are the ones who make it disgusting. On a similar note, don't leave the goddamn faucet running. Found this twice in the last month in the public bathroom at the restaurant I work at it. Like, what the fuck, who are these cretins? People who will do anything if they believe the responsibility isn't theirs. They are the people that employers should be putting on blacklists. Baggage carousels? Stand the fuck back, people, and we can all reach our bags when they come round. Crowd into the carousel as close as you can get, and you block everyone whose bag happens to come out before yours. They all need a gentle slope away from the carousel, so it isn't comfortable to stand next to it. Dude, this could change the world. I think I was at Heathrow in the UK, and there was a bold line in the carpet 1 mile back from the carousels. Everyone stood behind the line and I was flabbergasted at how easy it was to get my luggage. I started doing that everywhere, but I'm the only one. Well, actually, I've noticed a few more people doing it lately. Hitchhiking. It was cool in the 60s and 70s. Then people started getting murdered and it became not cool. Probably more like. Then the news started reporting the murders. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like any other way the world is, more dangerous, these days. It's not more dangerous, you just hear about the danger. Relatively speaking, fatal car accidents, murder, rape, especially by strangers, and kidnapping are extremely rare. If it weren't for news reporting that it happens, we could all go on living in our own bubbles where we personally know no one who has been the victim of these things. News channels are overzealous in making people think the world is dangerous. But they also provide a service by reminding people that just because you don't personally know someone who has been involved in this, it is still going on. Sometimes I pick up hitchhikers just for a rush of excitement. Is today the day I die kinda thing. Statistically, you are significantly more likely to kill the hitchhiker than they are to kill you. I never knew that about myself. Stats are so revealing. The 10 items or less express line. Still remember the Safeway 10 items express lane Nazi in my college days. I know I had 9 items. She told me to get off the express lane. I insisted. She rings me and counted each and every item out loud and sure enough ended a 9. Bitch. They would work if people with more items got told to fuck off to another line. Then we all need to judge them out loud for it. Basically publicly shame them, maybe throw some rotten stuff. Let's see how long people keep using the express line then. Keep right except to pass. In Germany it's law and people still have problems to do it. In 1967 the White Bicycle Plan was implemented in Amsterdam. It was a policy where thousands of unlocked white bicycles were placed around the city, free to use for anyone. People could just grab a bike they chanced upon, cycle to their destination and leave the bike there for someone else to use. Unfortunately the plan failed quickly, as most of the bikes were stolen in no time. What the heck, man? That would be so freaking awesome. Why steal something that's already readily available? I want to have free to borrow bikes all around town. Turning your hobby into your work or profession. Science. Seriously, when I have to question, who's funding your research? Every time I read a paper, we've utterly failed. So true. I do research at a VA hospital. If our study doesn't directly affect veterans or have implications that would save the government money in the long run, they don't want to hear it. What do you mean you want to repeat an experiment to test its validity? Somebody already has the results. In the 1930s through 50s, research showed smoking improved health by relieving stress. Funded by guess who? Validity checks are important. Publish or perish drives crap. Pretty much anything that involves trust and/or cooperation. Setting out a needed good of any kind for free? The question isn't if someone takes advantage of it, but when. My aunt put out a nice dresser. Some a-hole kids came and just smashed it on the lawn. From then my theory is to just put a $5 sign on it to make people want to steal it. Jeff Foxworthy has a joke about how he put a couch on the curb with a sign that said free, and it sat there for 2 weeks. So he changed the sign to say, $200, and it was stolen within 20 minutes. World peace. The customer is always right. As someone who had worked retail for 20 years, this is probably the least true and most overused statement ever. People are fucking a-holes. The USA's switching to the metric system. Yellow traffic light. Other countries, please slow down and ready to stop. My country, Look left right, if no police, go max speed before it turns red. You ever hit the point of no return? If I try to stop, I have to hammer on my brakes. If I want to make it through, I have to hammer on the gas. Sometimes, it's just a moment of panic. Hammering on the gas is safer than slamming on the brake. The rule that my driving instructor gave me was that if you have to brake so hard that it is dangerous to those behind you, then you can go through. Giving stuff away for free on local Facebook group pages. Thinking you can do a nice thing giving away a baby cot and clothes, etc., only to later see the guy you gave it all to sell it for cash. Still jaded about that. Faith lockers. Schools where there are no locks on lockers because we trust each other. That is the most naive idea I have read here so far. Hell, my school's lockers have locks and people's shit still gets stolen. It's probably worth adding that my friend left his book bag with his laptop in it in the cafeteria and someone stole it. A few days later the bag was in his locker, but without the laptop. So basically someone stole his whole bag, only wanted the laptop, then broke into his locker to give him the rest of the bag back. Good people. What good idea doesn't work because of people? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.